This is one of my all-time favorites. Everybody likes French fries. You have your favorite little side dish that you like. Mine is onion rings. We go to the restaurant and we pay $7, $8, up to $10 for a big batch of onion rings. I'm going to show you how to come back with these ingredients. Get you a very wide onion to begin with. This way when you slice it, it's going to come back in and you can make it a couple little different thickness. If you look here, that's a little bit on the thick side. This is a little on the thin side. Here's a little leftover. If you have a slicer or whatever, you can come back in. Now I've sliced a little bit up there. Over here, the spices that we're going to use later. Again, I'm a Slap Your Mama fan. There's a lot of Cajun stuff. Cavender's, accent, all seasoning, and you have your panko is going to come back in with your flour for the coatings, a little bit buttermilk. So now we're sitting right here. What we're going to do, we're just going to take, you can do it with milk, but the buttermilk, like I was saying, adds so much more flavor. So all I'm going to do now is take some of this stuff over here. And we're going to put it in the refrigerator. You can leave it, you can do it within an hour. You can leave it overnight and it'll do real good. So mix it up a little bit, just make sure it coats. It's probably a little on the thin side. I like to have it there. If you look right here, you can see that we've got it coated. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this in the ice box. In fact, this is going to be our dinner later tonight. We were going to make shrimp. We went out. Mardi Gras wasn't there. We got to cooking, and I'll show you how to fry it and everything. That'll be coming. Now we've come back in. We've taken the onions. We've put them in a little buttermilk. Like I said, the buttermilk is what my mother and all my aunts used. They used to make cornbread. A lot of the people have gotten away from the buttermilk. Right over, we've got a little flour. It's not spiced or whatever. What we're doing right now, we're just going to come back and coat these, put them over there, back to letting it set up just a little bit. So we just take a few of these, throw them in. All we're doing right here for the first coating, and this is the basis of the onion rings coating.
Okay, so we're going to coat this whole onion, and then we'll be back pretty soon. Okay, so we're cooking onion rings, and these have been sitting about 20 minutes. We dipped them one time. We had a flour mixture, and they sit in buttermilk before that for about an hour's time. Now we're going to double dip them again, and here's to Big Mike.
Alright, now what we're going to do, a little panko bread. It adds a little crispy, whatever amount of flour you have. You want about a quarter of the panko bread to come back in thicker. You don't want a lot more than that. All we're doing is cook. Now here's some of the stuff. My favorite, Slap Your Mama. Accent. You could use the seasoning oil. Old Bay is really good on this. So we're going to take a little bit of Old Bay for you people that can't get the other stuff. We're going to pour a little bit of the Old Bay on. We're going to take a little bit of salt in it. And if you're just going to do it the traditional way, just a little bit of garlic powder on it. A little bit of cracked pepper on it. And we're going to mix it up a little bit, okay? So, we've got, that's the seasoning, spices. Again, like I said many times, you adapt it the way you want. Now, these are sitting over here. We're going to just dip them in real quick. We're going to come back in and let's look at the coating real quick.
Okay,
Again,
double
we're
dip.
glutenating it, or whatever you want to call the thing. Oh, I forgot. Throw that in there, foam over. You can just come back in. This would be enough for 3 or 4 people for hamburgers or whatever. Again, a little bit of and if you look again, you can see it kind of coating it a little bit.
Okay, so when we're done double coating this, we'll be back to you
We're
soon.
going to come back in, let them sit for a little bit. The glutenate, or that's what the word I like to use. Again there. The buttermilk just, and it's a shame, the younger set hadn't learned this. One of the biggest things I learned from my mother. Buttermilk is one of the greatest things in the world. We used to go to grocery stores and we had a ton of that stuff in there. You know, I mean a ton. What I'm saying. Can you see basically what we're doing? Now, you can see a little bit of the coating on the top. So we're going to let this sit a little while. We've got some grease over in the oven. And then, to me, this is the easiest way to come back and make a great onion rings. When we have a little bit of grease, I like a deep fryer or whatever, but you can do this on the stove. We're telling you the simplest way to do it. We just put a little bit of water in it, and if you come over to Michael, you can see it's starting to come back and bubble up. Now,
beautiful.
We'll take one in here. Oh, wow, it's doing good. It's not going to take any time at all to do this. These are the onion rings that are set up for a little while. You don't want to crowd them too much. Just about got enough in there right now. If you had a bigger fryer, or most people have one of those little fryers you can pop up. Now you can see it's starting to cook up. We don't want to turn them too quick.
What a heat are you at right now?
I'm probably about 350 to 375 someplace in there. You don't want to cook it. You don't want to cook them too hard because the outside will come back in, crisp up, and the onion rings themselves, or the onions, have not cooked through. Now we're sitting here. Come back over here. Take a look. It's not crisp on the top. When it starts getting a little crisp on the top, we're going to come back and turn it. All right, here we go. Now look back down here, and you can see again, it's got a nice crisp look to the top right there. So what we'll do, we'll let these cook a little bit more for just about 30-40 seconds. And if you look, you can see the nice crispiness to them. The pan wasn't overdone. Now we're going to put those up there. This would be, all right, now, this is the third roll batch. We've been cooking these for about 5 minutes. It's very important you don't overcook them. If you look here on the top again, it's starting to crisp up. They're not quite ready. You got to look at the top of it. You look over here. You see how crispy they are? I think we're ready to turn one time. Come over here and look real quick. You see how it's a little bit on the crispy side? You don't want to overburn them or whatever. But what we're doing, we're coming back in. We're cooking the batter and